For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care. rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
Hello and welcome to Without Bias right here on 1116 SEN, your home of sport. For Bowls Australia and Right at Home, the Right Care, Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. Val Febbo here with you, taking you through another week of bowls. And we've got a great show lined up. Two people that are going to feature very prominently at the Australian Open, one of which is Jessie Cottell, Right at Home, emerging Jackaroo. Made the pairs final last year with Taylor Bruce. Can she go one better in 2025? We'll hear all from her. And a man that won the men's pairs title in 2024 and is heading up to the Gold Coast for the National Development Series in July as well is Joseph Clarke, another Right at Home emerging Jackaroo. He's an absolute superstar and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the Gold Coast once more. And he joins me on the line now. Joey, welcome. And how are things in the lead up to the AO?
Hey, Val. Thanks for having me. No, things are good. Playing plenty of bowls and just getting ready for a good few weeks up north, and really keen to get back up there.
Well, yeah, how pumped are you to get up there to the AO? It's such a great event and one that you've had a lot of success at.
Yeah, no, super pumped. You know, it's such a great event. Win, loss, or draw. You're in a beautiful part of the world for a few weeks, and you catch up with a lot of really good people while you're there, and the whole bowls community seemingly up there, which is really special. But no, super pumped. I've had a taste of success there before, so really keen to try and hopefully replicate that over the next few weeks.
It has been a happy hunting ground for you, and you've won both junior titles, open titles. What is it that you love so much about the event and being on those greens on the Gold Coast?
Well, they're beautiful greens. You know, a lot of them are running quick, beautiful greens. You know, Broadbeach do a great job as well in hosting the finals and stuff like that. But I just love the atmosphere of it. You get so many keen bowls watchers and keen players that go up there and get a taste of bowls at the highest level. It's a big celebration and carnival for bowls. And for me personally, I love to be a part of it and compete up there. Your 3 weeks around the beach and playing bowls during the day. So it's a really fun few weeks, and I just think everyone's heads in a great spot when they're up there because they're just having a good time. And when it comes to game day, you're nice and relaxed and ready to go. Yeah,
it does kind of feel like a bowling holiday, even when I'm up there for work, you don't really feel like you're working. It's, you're sitting outside in the sun all day, and it's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's special like that. It's always good on your days off. You get to the beach. For me, a beach town boy, it's so good to get to those spots as well. So that's really special there as well. But it is a big event when you get on the green. But it's your head's in the right spot, and that's what I love about it. It's so unique like that.
You've got a lot of confidence every time you go there because I think it dates back to the junior success that you had. You won the junior boys singles in 21 and 22. And I remember the footage of your school watching it in 2021 when you won your first title, and they were great scenes there in the gym. But how much confidence do those performances give you when you do go back? Because it seems as though you're just going from strength to strength. Last year with the pairs title, the fours final, it seems as though you love going there, and it's all stemmed from those younger years.
Yeah, absolutely. But those younger years, they're my first couple of big achievements in my bowls career, and in my bowls life, I should say. It's just those two. Without those, I wouldn't have the confidence to transition to the Opens and believe that I can compete at that level. And these are moments, support from the school in 21, as you said, and going back in 22. Those junior titles sort of defined what I'm going to do and what I'm going to chase with bowls, and they give me the confidence to go back and keep competing. Obviously, Opens is a different beast. It gave me confidence to go out there and compete and want to go back and keep trying to compete. But Opens is a different beast. But I remember after winning those junior singles, I'd go watch the men's singles, which happened straight after it. The Wayne Telly versus Disco game and Omar versus Corey Wedlock game. And you dream about being in their shoes one day and winning the big one at the Open level. But they do give you a lot of confidence, that's for sure. And it's a bit of familiarity when you're there for big games. But, as I said, Opens is a different base. But I did enjoy those those moments, and they're some of the highlights of my bowls life. I wouldn't be here now without those achievements.
Joseph Clarke, right at home emerging Jackaroo, joining me on Without Bias here on 1116 SEN. And you mentioned, Joey, about the junior experiences. Your second junior title was against Jack McShane. And in 2024, 2 years later, you two are standing on that big green in Green 4, the big grandstand rink, and you win the men's pairs title with Jack nailing the final bowl of the extra end. How much have you watched that final back? Because it's truly one of the best contests I've seen at the AO.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't watched it a couple of times.
I don't blame you. I've watched it a couple of times.
I've definitely watched that last bowl a fair few times. It was such a special moment, and as you said, playing him, I think we mentioned it on the day, playing him in a junior final, 22, then playing with him in a men's final, in two men's finals, in particular the pairs on the big stage last year in 24. You know, I've watched it back a few times. It's just such a special moment for me personally, and for both of us as a pairing. To win one's special, and it's such a hard road and such a long road to win one. But to do it as two 19-year-olds, to just battling away, you know, and you get to the grand stage and you win it on the last bowl. It's everything you dream of. It's a dream for us 19, 20-year-olds to compete at that level, because there's so many exceptional players out there. But to taste success at that level on that stage as young fellas was really special. And, you know, it's that last bowl as well. It's like Ellen Ryan at the Com Games, you know, those moments, those last bowls, it makes it even more special. And yeah, definitely watch that back a few times, and hopefully we can recreate that this year.
Well, yeah, it's etched into folklore of the Australian Open. That's 100% for sure. And you mentioned the Alan Fife one from Birmingham, and, you know, those bowls are bowls that will never be forgotten in the sport's history here in this country. So it's such an amazing thing that you're a part of. And you and Jack will be going for another tilt at Glory. So how much do you enjoy getting on the green with him? You've come through the junior ranks together, and now it seems as though you two are great friends. You've donned the green and gold together as well at the Oceania Challenge last year. So how much do you love just getting out there with him? He's such a cool, calm, collected character on the green, and you two seem to get along really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love getting on the green with him. You know, obviously going for it again. Got a pretty tough task straight away with Omar and Jessie, but I'm really looking forward to trying to go for it again with him. It should be special. But no, I love getting on the green with him. He's an incredible player. You know, it's easy to underestimate him because of age, but he's one of the elite players in the country at the moment. This will be the first time I've played with him as a world champion. So obviously with that recent success, and you know, last year we played with each other and it was such a special achievement. But now playing with him now, he's accomplished already so much in that time since last time. And to play with a caliber player of him, you never take that for granted. But for him to also be a mate as well is really, really special. As you said, we've played over in Oceania. We won gold over in the Oceania Fours together. Yeah, pairs was as good, but we just enjoy playing with each other. We enjoy each other's company. We give each other a bit of stick, but we love playing with each other, and then you know, we've had some success early on, and we just hopefully we can keep continuing that and then ride it while it's hot, because you never know how long these things last.
Exactly, and I was going to ask you about the pairs draw. That's stiff. Come on, you've got Aaron Sheriff and Aaron Tees in your section. That is as stiff as it gets. My God, what was the reaction when you saw that?
Oh, it is what it is. It's, you know, you got to play them at some stage. That, you know, if you didn't play them, then if we were lucky enough to reach the back end, I'm sure they would have been there. So, I mean, Omar goes without saying, and Teesy's probably just been one of the best in the country last. But it's you know, it is what it is. You can't really shake it too much. It's, you got to play those ones to beat them. You got to play those games to win it, and you know, I mean, it's exciting. You know, I really enjoy sharing the green with those types of players, because it's you know, you never know how many times you're going to get to play them in your life, and to share the green with players and people like Teesy and Sheriff should be a really good, exciting challenge, and we'll see how it goes.
Love the attitude. Absolutely love it. And what are some of the go-tos for you when you go to the Gold Coast, Joey? Because it's 10 years on the Gold Coast for the AO this year. So what are some of the things you do when you're unwinding up there in Queensland?
I'm a big, from Cottell, a big beach guy, so I've got to get down to the beach a few days, obviously. You know, Belly's a really lovely area as well. You know, I've always stayed with mates, like mates from school. previously. So we always go out to like Milky Lane, a nice burger joint there. I believe we're trying out Dracula's this year. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but we're going to give that a crack. But there's always some really good spots. But the beach is one I always give a good run, and a couple of nice lunches on the water, and the nice surf clubs. They're really cool. So there's always a lot to visit and go to and enjoy yourself in between, which is important. But there's some really good spots that I go to for sure.
Yeah, nice. You have to let us know how Dracula's goes, because I've driven past it that many times and never been in, so I'm not actually sure what it is. I think it's a vampire show. I've got absolutely no clue, but we'll find out with Joey Clarke after the AO. But one more before I let you go. The National Development Series, that's coming up in 2 months' time at Helensvale. You'll be there once more. How much do you love the event and getting the opportunity to play under those tournament conditions against some of the other best up-and-coming talents in the country? It's
such a special event. Like we were lucky enough to have success in it last year, the Mighty Red Dynamite. Such a special event just because you're playing with all these people that are wanting to achieve the same as what you're trying to achieve. The people who have gone through the same journey to achieve what they can in the bowls world, and you're playing with and against them. You develop relationships with people that you don't see as often from Queensland, Victoria, WA, wherever it may be. You develop those relationships within the squad that you might not get to see very often. Like, a couple of people I sort of got to meet properly for the first time last year. And you develop those bonds as well with different coaches. We had JR, Ian Ewing, as our coach last year from Victoria. You don't get to deal with him as much being from New South Wales, but you develop really good relationships with those coaches. Obviously, I already have a good one with James Reynolds being our New South Wales coach, but you get to develop those relationships with players and coaches from different areas. And that's just the relationship side of it. It's a special event too, because you're playing under sort of World Bowls rules and getting a glimpse of what it's like to play those events and what the scheduling looks like and the approach that the open squads go towards games, as well as competing when you get out and compete against these players and with players that you might not even get to play with ever again. These are players that you want to go through the squads with, but these are players from different states that you don't typically get to play with a lot. So I found it really special from all fronts in terms of that, just the relationship base and playing with people that you hope to be continuing through the squads with.
Absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes, because it is a brilliant event, and I think you've echoed the sentiments of every other emerging Jackaroo that's spoken about the tournament. So it's great. And Joey, I'm really looking forward to catching up with you at the Australian Open in just over a week's time. Not long to go now, 10 days left until it all kicks off. Men's singles will start things off on the Gold Coast. And good luck with everything. Hopefully it all goes well, and looking forward to seeing you at the back end of the tournament once more, I reckon.
Thank you. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thanks for having me, Val.
Joey Clarke joining me on Without Bias. What a superstar he is becoming in this sport of bowls. Plenty more still to come on Without Bias. Right at home, Jackaroo Jessie Cottell. She's also going to be up at the AO and at the National Development Series. She'll join me right after this. This is Without Bias for Right at Home. For personalised, private, no waiting in-home care, visit rightathome.com.au.
For personalised, private, no waiting, in-home care, rightathome.com.au. This is Without Bias on SEN.
You're listening to Without Bias right here on 1116 SEN for Bowls Australia and Right at Home, the right care. Right at Home, Australia's premier in-home care provider. Val Febbo here with you, and a big thank you to Joey Clarke for joining me in the last segment to chat about his AO coming up. And another Right at Home Jackaroo that's joining me on the line is Jessie Cottell, a finalist from the women's pairs last year, champion of the under-18 girls singles in 2018, and a superstar of the sport in her own right. Jessie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Val. Good to be here.
No problems at all, and you've got a big Australian Open coming up for you. How hungry are you for that maiden Open title?
Oh, pretty hungry. I mean, I have been every year, so, to come close a couple of times last year with the final of the pairs and semi of the fours, so, extra hungry this year to top it off and get that title. That'd be great.
And yeah, you mentioned the final of the pairs. You were with Taylor Bruce, and you'll be teaming up once again in 2025. How much have you spoken with her in the lead up?
I'm not going to lie, we haven't spoken all that much, but to be fair, we didn't last year either. I mean, we barely knew each other last year, and it worked for us. So, look, we caught up at the Trans-Tasman in January this year and had a bit of a chat, and we throw a message here and there, and same with the girls that we have in the fours. We have a bit of a group chat going, but apart from that, we don't talk all that much, but hopefully it works for us again this year and we can come out and do something similar.
Well, how did that go last year? Like when you don't know someone as well, what do you sort of do on the green to sort of get to know the person, and how do those dynamics work?
I mean, I think both Taylor and I are quite bubbly, outgoing people, so it helps a lot to be those type of people. So easy to get along with each other and very outgoing and confident. And very supportive of one another. So we didn't have any trouble talking, that's for sure. And look, we knew of each other. I obviously knew how good she is and how well she can bowl, being a world champion just recently from last year. So, look, we worked really well last year and we knew each other's game after a couple of games, probably after the section actually in the pairs, and we got to know each other really well. And we've actually become really good friends, which is great.
Brilliant. And considering the form that you've been in over the last year and the new experiences that you've had, especially going to the Trans-Tasman this year, is this the most confident that you've been heading into the Australian Open?
Look, I don't think my confidence each year changes. Obviously, I've had a few results and I'm in quite good form going into the event, I'd say. And having played the Trans-Tasman with the Jackaroos, that was an amazing experience. I've had so many great opportunities in just this first half of the year. So look, my confidence and my mindset ever changes going into the event. You know, I'll be taking one bowl, one game at a time and just playing my game as I usually do. Nothing changes for me. I've always wanted to win an Australian Open title and that doesn't change. So look, confident, but hasn't changed.
Very good. And you won the under-18 girls singles in 2018. A, can you believe that it's been 7 years? And B, what's something that you would go back and tell that Jessie in terms of advice for the future?
You're really making me feel old, Val. I can't believe, actually, when you sent me the question, I was like, oh my God, it's been 7 years. And I can't believe it's been 7 years, honestly. I don't remember 18-year-old me very well. Look, that title obviously has a special place in my heart. Obviously, being my first Australian Open title and one that I really got to share with both my close friend Beck, who I played in the final, and my family, because obviously I lived on the Gold Coast back then, and it's one of my first major finals that they were able to come and watch and support me. So that was really special. No, can't believe it's been 7 years.
Don't worry, I'm turning 30 in 6 months, so I'm the one that should be feeling old. Don't worry about that. It's you've still got a while to go before you get there. So it's on the other side of 30, that's when I reckon it'll all go downhill. Hopefully not, but the 20s have been great. So but what are some of your go-tos? I asked Joey Clarke this about going to the Gold Coast because it is such a great event up there. 10 years on the Gold Coast. So when you're there, what are some of the go-tos when you're unwinding from bowls?
Look, I'm a brunch person. I love going for brunch on my days off. So one of my favourite places is actually the Paddock Bakery. I don't know if you've ever been there, but if you haven't, I highly recommend. It's in Burleigh Waters.
That's right. I have been there once. Yes.
It is an amazing place, great atmosphere, great food, and I love going there around 10 o'clock and just enjoying the morning, having a nice sleep in. But look, I'm fortunate enough to be able to stay with my family when I'm on the Gold Coast, so I'll be catching up with them quite often. I might hit up a theme park or two. Hopefully I don't have too much time off, not too much spare time. But if I do, you'll probably find me at brunch or at a theme park or just hanging out with my family.
You'd fit in very well in Melbourne with that brunch culture. That's for sure. But no, it is great. I have been there once. My mates took me there a few years ago, and that was absolutely magnificent. So would recommend. But another one for you, the National Development Series. That's on the agenda. Like with Joey before, you guys have almost a very similar calendar, the two of you. But what were some of the key takeaways from the event that you played in 2023, and what makes it such a brilliant event for the players?
Well, one of my key takeaways from 2023 is deep down, I actually think Lindsay Clarke is a Blues supporter. She says that way too naturally, go the Blues, way too naturally. No, in all seriousness, it's such a great event. Back in 2023, to be a part of the Blues squad with Linny, she was amazing as a coach, and just to be able to have that team atmosphere, working as a squad, the inclusion of academy players, emerging players, para players. It's just such a great opportunity for everyone to get to know each other, have a game with each other, and just mingle and get gel and get to know each other a bit more. I really, really enjoyed 2023. Obviously, I'm a part of the Yellow squad this year, and we've got Jimmy Reynolds, who is an amazing coach and person. He's just such a lovely person, and I have a soft spot for Jimmy, and he's such a good friend, and so I'm enjoying catching up with him at the moment, but can't wait for July, is it? Yeah, July, to be a part of his squad. And then obviously we have current indoor world singles champion, Jack McShane, in the Yellow team, so that's going to be a pleasure to play with him. He's in some great form at the moment. Really looking forward to it. I think it's, like I said, it's a great opportunity for all the players in the squad to get together and really get to know each other and have a game. Like I know we'll be playing with the Paras, and they'll be mixing. So I'm not sure. In 2023 it was a bit different, but 2024, unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend that event. But I know the Paras actually played games with some of the emerging and the academy players. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect, and I think that's going to be a really good hit out.
Looking forward to seeing you in action there and at the Australian Open coming up. Jessie Cottell, thank you so much for joining me on Without Bias. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure I'll see you at brunch at some stage at the 2025 Australian Open.
Perfect. Thanks, sir. Have a good day.
Jessie Cottell joining me there on Without Bias. An absolute pleasure having her on. A big thank you to her and Joey Clarke for joining me on tonight's show. And that's all we've got time for. And remember, you can catch up on all of the episodes on BA's YouTube channel, Bowls Australia YouTube, and also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you're on social media, we are there too. This has been Without Bias for Right at Home, the Right Care Right at Home, Australia's in-home care provider for personalised, private, no waiting in-home care. Visit rightathome.com.au. I'm Val Febbo. Have a great week.